Number 2, certificates of recognition by the mayor with presentations by each entity regarding the involvement of all citizens and organizations in the completion of the historic Vision Iowa project. And the first one up tonight is the Mason City Public Library, and I believe we have a very fine director, Mary Mark Walter.
Thank you. John, can I see? You can't see it. There it is. Okay, I'm Mary Markwalter. I'm the director of Mason City Public Library. And tonight at our board meeting, we paid our final renovation bills. We moved into the library and reopened it last October 21st, and we're just finishing signing off and releasing the retainage amounts tonight, the last of them, so that's really nice. This is our last building renovation update, because we're all done. I did them quarterly until recently. The last couple of quarters, we didn't have too much to report. John, can you move me forward? Thanks. We did a couple other things while we were renovating the building. We had a new logo designed by Jim Zack of Z Graphics. He worked with the steering committee and got input from staff and board members and other interested parties in the community. So he came up with a fun logo, and it's really nice. He really got it all in there. And we met several times, and it was approved by the board. So that's been fun. You see it on our signage and on all of our newsletters and things like that, business cards. So can we go to next? Thank you. Thank you very much to the Mason City Council, citizens of Mason City, the library staff and board, friends of the library, the Mason City Public Library Foundation, Robin Anderson and Mary Ellen Miller, the Chamber of Commerce, city departments who worked on our project. It did create a lot of extra work for the other departments, and we appreciate their help. Vision Mason City participants and supporters, and the Vision Iowa Board for making possible the complete renovation of the Mason City Public Library. We got many things into this project in the scope that were not originally in the scope of the project, so that's really wonderful. We're done at just about a little over 9.3 million, and you know, all the bills are paid. We actually could include the roofs. That wasn't in 100% tuck pointing. That wasn't in the project. This section was not in the project. So those are really, really nice things to get done, and we're really glad that we were able to do it. Can we go next, John? I thought I'd show you a few pictures from along the way that people have hopefully probably forgotten. I forgot until I looked at them. This is what the parking lot looked like in 2010. Obviously, it's winter. And Kelly Johnson, who's our children's librarian, took photos for us throughout the renovation, so that's kind of well documented. Can we see the next one? And this is what it looks like now. It's really pretty, and it's completed. That's kind of a night photo. Henkel Construction and Halliburton Root actually paid a special architectural photographer, Dale Photographics from Pella, Iowa, to do some really nice photos, and they have allowed us to use those. So that was really nice of them to share those with us. Can we go to the next one? Thanks. This is the Commons area looked like in August of 2009. It was completely gone, and it was starting to be rebuilt literally from the ground up. The next one, and that's what it looks like now. So it's really comfortable and pretty, much nicer than the previous slide. That was the main circulation desk. If you're in the room, you look to the back. It's the little opening there. There was really nowhere to sit. It was really tough while we were in the temporary library. And let's show the next one, and that's what it looks like now. So it's very different, much more comfortable. Okay, another thing that we accomplished during the renovation was the restoration of the McNider autograph collection. It was restored by Sherilyn Ogden, who's a paper conservator in St. Paul, Minnesota. It took about 2.5 years to complete that project. There's quite a little bit to it. There are 108 pieces. And fortunately, she gave us a really good detailed report. And based on that report, Mrs. Jack McNider decided to just give us money. It was $50,000 for the restoration of that. So it was really nice that they gave it to us. The general gave us the autograph collection originally, and then they will be wonderful stewards of it for us. We are also, the paper conservator prescribed a treatment for it that we only rotated, that we only showed on a rotating basis. So each one is out for 30 days a year. And we do have a special storage facility to protect them too, because even though they're under UV glass, ambient light still destroys them. So, but they're in good shape now. Little timeline of events. November 2007, there was a successful referendum approved for $7.65 million. During 2008, design development and additional fundraising was conducted. April 1st of 2009, the library started moving into storage and temporary operations locations in the Mason City Room and Madison School. We also were at the Bus Barn at Roosevelt School and had some storage at O'Brien Moving. So we were at several sites. June 1st, 2009, Vision Iowa Grant and Vision Mason City matching funds were secured, and June 8th, construction began. The fences went up and the construction started. July through October of 2009, we moved back into the renovated building. It was almost done. I'm sorry, that should say 2010. I'm sorry. And that's when we moved back in, and then we opened October 21st, 2010 with some work left to do. And as of today, construction is complete and bills are paid. We thank all of the contractors who worked on our project, of which there were many. There were main contractors, there were contractors that did special work, like environmental abatement, those kinds of things, and there were some subcontractors under the main ones. So there were a lot of people who worked on this building. We receive wonderful compliments about the building on a daily basis. People really like it. Many thanks to Nancy Pearson of Bestsellers Coffee. She got us off to a great start this year. Fabulous food, really nice service. And special thanks to Henkel Construction, O'Brien Moving and Storage, Jones Library Sales there in Carlisle, Iowa, Blazik Electric, Anderson Furniture Restoration, Mason City School District, and Northern Cedar Services. These contractors really went to bat for us throughout the construction and moving process. They went above and beyond the call of duty on a daily basis. They were responsible for some big change orders in our favor, which was important to our project. And our problems became their problems, so it was really nice to have that kind of backup. And we all appreciated it very much. Many thanks for all the support for the Mason City Public Library Building Renovation Project. We're really pleased, and it's very nice to have it. It's an honor to be the director. So, any questions?
We're honored to have you. Folks, any questions for the director? All right. Well, Mr. Director, if you could bring your chair up here for just a moment. We have a certificate of recognition for you. Come up here, Ms. Fisher. Big part of it. This is the City of Mason City, the Office of the Mayor. Certificate of recognition on behalf of the City Council. The certificate is awarded to the Mason City Public Library. The recognition of your efforts to renovate the Mason City Public Library for your outstanding contribution and service to the citizens of Mason City, Iowa. We're very honored to have you guys here and all the work that you do. Well, the next presentation is by the River City Society for Historical Preservation. And I believe we have Mr. Lee Weber here to present. We're honored to have you here tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Council, and citizens of Mason City. I do apologize, I didn't bring any pretty pictures with me today. A little bit of a data problem at home prevented it, but I'll do my best to describe it in vivid terms. So, we'll start with a short history. The Stockman House opened as a house museum in 1992, and some years we always had a dream of having a place where we could tell the story of Mason City architecture, and so that also that we could have the Stockman House be a house again, rather than have several purposes of housing visitors and our small amount of sales items for sale as well. In 2005, two things occurred for our organization that were of great benefit. One was early in the year we received notice that we had received money in from an estate of one of our early volunteers from the Kaitan's estate. And later in the year, the adjacent property to the Stockman House became available for a price that allowed us to use that bequest. And so we obtained the property and then began making some plans about what we wanted to do in that location. Design proceeded almost immediately. Bob Brosher, who's a retired architect, former president, national president of the American Institute of Architects, was on our board at the time and took on the job of doing the initial design. And fundraising began. 2006 was also a good year for us because we were part of the Great Places Initiative in Mason City that got Mason City recognized as a great place, and it actually brought some money for the projects as well. And of course, our participation in the Vision Iowa projects got us off the ground. Groundbreaking began in September, right after Labor Day in September of 2009. And the construction process proceeded throughout the winter and throughout the following year. Some big thanks to certainly our architects, to our contractors, but also a big thank you to Ken Peterson of Mason City, who provided a great deal of support and information for our project that we couldn't have done without. We were able to open the center on a limited basis in February of 2011 with a soft opening. That allowed our volunteers to become accustomed to the new facility and for us to make some plans and know how we were going to approach the oncoming season of 2011. Our grand opening was on May 14th, and just as we had with our groundbreaking sometime before, we had rain. So it was a nice fitting conclusion to the construction process. We also had our first show in our gallery area of the center. Right on the park had promoted a photo show, and part of our grand opening was the opening of that photo show. It turned out to be quite a lovely event that I'll mention in just a moment. In terms of current operations, we had our most successful full season in operation for this year. Because of all of the investment in this project, we realized we needed a broader vision for the facility than simply as an opening spot for tours for the Stockman House. One of the things that we need to tell about Mason City is that Mason City is unique. We have an architectural heritage unequaled in the United States and perhaps in the world. In a short period of time, some of the most remarkable architects in American history made their mark on Mason City, and those marks still exist today, and they draw visitors every day. And so that became part of our vision as well, and a larger educational mission. In perusing the guest book from May until just about a week ago, of course, guests don't always sign in, so it's not a fully accurate picture. But the guests that have signed in have come from 39 states in the United States and from seven other countries, and those are the visitors just since May. We've had 4 different entries from German visitors, 3 different entries throughout the season from Australian visitors, visitors from 3 Canadian provinces. Other countries represented include the United Kingdom, Greece, Japan, the Philippines, as well as Canada, Australia, and Germany. What's coming up next is we still have some development work to do on the parking lot, so we have more parking in the same area. And our educational committee is working to come up with a number of educational programs. We're working in concert with Right on the Park and their educational community, looking at curriculum development for use by school teachers from middle school through the college level, looking into possible partnerships with university programs. We've already established a relationship with the Lifelong Learning Program at NIAC, and we've had classes in our facility from that program. And looking into internships, we had a very successful relationship with an intern throughout our construction project. She is now studying for a master's degree in preservation at the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia, and felt like she'd gotten quite quite a view of what preservation is and what it means through her experience in Mason City. We'd like to thank also everyone who contributed through Vision Mason City, all the efforts of the City of Mason City, most especially city staff who were very helpful at a number of junctures through our construction project. And thanks also, of course, to our Vision Mason City partners in the Chamber of Commerce. So we have any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Weber. Any folks, any questions? All right. Well, thank you very much for coming. If you could come up here, you better bring Dr. Coy up here too. I see he's here. We've got a certificate of appreciation for you. The City of Mason City, Iowa, the Office of the Mayor, a certificate of recognition. On behalf of the City Council, this certificate is awarded to River City Society of Historical Preservation in recognitions of your efforts related to the construction of the Mason City Architectural Interpretive Center and for your outstanding contributions and services to the citizens of Mason City, Iowa. Thank you very much and congratulations. Please give them a hand round of applause. All right. The next presentation up is Right on the Park, and I believe we have present Ms. Jean Marinas.
Thank you, Mayor. City Council. My name is Jean Marinas, and I'm currently serving as president of Right on the Park, the nonprofit organization that owns the historic Park Inn Hotel. From the very beginning of our organization, we recognize the importance of the buildings located on the south end of Central Park. Throughout the years since Right on the Park has been organized, our board members have exemplified the quote by Frank Lloyd Wright, which now graces a wall in the center section of the hotel. The quote reads, "The thing always happens that you really believe in, and the belief in a thing makes it happen." Our board members have held that singular vision of the restoration of the hotel from our very beginning. The current Right on the Park board members include Chip Kinsey as vice president, Dennis Riddell as the treasurer, Ann McGregor is our secretary and executive director, Peggy Bain, Bob McCoy, Lee Weber, Mark Frandl, Melissa Schoenberg, Pat Schultz, and John Wilson. Claudia Collier serves as our administrative assistant. We've had many more individuals who have given of their time and their efforts in the past and now on our board and on various committees. To all of them, we give our heartfelt thanks. We've had many partners in the rehabilitation of the historic Park Inn Hotel. These partners include, of course, the Mason City Chamber of Commerce with the sponsorship of the Vision Iowa funding, the architectural firm of Berglund and Cram, Mason City, and especially our beloved Martha Huntington, the architect of record for the restoration. Construction manager was Hinkle Construction of Mason City. The project director was Planscape Partners out of Clear Lake, Iowa. For accounting, we used Novogradac of San Francisco and Hogan Hansen of Mason City. Our attorneys include Leverage Law of Kansas City, Futures Unlimited of Washington, and our Locher Law Firm of Mason City. For our banks, to whom we owe the deepest gratitude, it's American Trust and Savings out of Dubuque, Iowa, First Citizens Bank of Mason City, Community National Bank of Mason City, and Clear Lake and Bank and Trust out of Clear Lake. For a construction advisor, we had John Gronin of Gronin Properties of Dubuque, and finally, our hotelier of choice, HBI Partners of Mason City, Iowa. As you can see from our list of our partners, it includes primarily local community businesses and mostly from Iowa. The Vision Iowa funding was critical to the success of our project. $8.2 million of the $9 million awarded to Mason City was allowed for the utilization of the restoration of the hotel. There were also other sources of funding that have and some that will continue to impact our community. We have federal historic tax credits totaling almost $3.8 million, along with state historic tax credits of $3.5 million. The final source of funding for the historic Park Inn Hotel came from the New Markets tax credits by Iowa Community Development out of Johnston, Iowa. One of the elements for the New Market tax credits was the Green Initiative, promoting the use of environmentally sustainable elements in the design of the hotel. But what's even more exciting is the addition of a $1.5 million community benefit fund that was created through the project financing that will be administered by a community-based committee to provide long-term benefits to Mason City. This community benefit fund came from the funding of the Iowa Community Development through the New Market tax credits and from Right on the Park. The Vision Iowa program was designed to assist communities to take advantage of the economic development opportunities. Without a doubt, the completion of the historic Park Inn Hotel has had an impact on our community. Besides the jobs that were created by the construction itself and the monetary gain for the money spent during that project, we are now seeing the impact of the opening of that hotel. On Labor Day of this year, we experienced the long lines of people waiting to get a tour of the hotel. That day alone, we gave free tours to over 2,000 people. We have seen the explosion of the media coverage of the hotel, now standing at over 70 sites, including the New York Times, the Boston Globe, the Chicago Tribune, the Des Moines Register, Iowa Public Radio, the Miami Herald, and USA Today, just to name a few. There have been numerous sellouts of the hotel rooms. There have been many conferences, parties, and events already held in the hotel with numerous reservations for the future. There have been overnight guests from 34 different states, including Hawaii and Alaska, plus guests from 8 different countries, including Australia. And this is from mid-August through mid-October, just 2 months. There have been over 480 individuals who have had docent-led tours of the hotel since the 1st of September. These are just the ones who've registered, not the ones who just stopped by for a quick look. It's just the beginning, folks. We will see people from all over the world coming to Mason City just to see what we have to offer. In conclusion, Right on the Park would like to offer our sincere thanks, first and foremost to the Chamber, for their steadfast belief in the project and their assistance in our efforts. And thanks to the City of Mason City for their support in the Vision Iowa project, the funding of the streetscape, and with your willingness to help us make it happen. We offer thanks to all the businesses in the downtown who have been so patient through all the construction. We sincerely hope that your business will benefit from our efforts to make our downtown a destination in North Iowa. We thank all the citizens who have given to the project through the funding of the Vision Mason City because of all the projects that have benefited from your generosity. And to all of those of you who have given your time in a variety of ways, we sincerely thank you. And finally, to all of Mason City, we thank you for your support and hope you will share in our pride of the historic Park Inn Hotel, an accomplishment that will benefit our community for years to come. Thank you.
All right, folks, do you have any questions for Mr. Marinos? All right. Ann McGregor, I see you back there. Why don't you come up here as well? Please come forward. All right, this is the City of Mason City, the Office of the Mayor, Certificate of Recognition. On behalf of the City Council, this certificate is awarded Right on the Park, in recognition of your efforts to renovate the historic Park Inn Hotel, for your outstanding contributions and services to the citizens of Mason City, Iowa. And we thank you very, very much, and your board, and all your volunteers, the Landmark Run. Please give us some applause. Well, our next presentation is on behalf of the businesses of Main Street, Mason City, and is their director, Marty Walsh.
Good afternoon or evening, everybody, council, mayor. As Mr. Mayor said, I'm Marty Walsh. I'm the director of Main Street, Mason City. We are the nonprofit independent organization charged with improving our downtown area here in Mason City. Before I start, I'd like to thank everybody involved in the project from our end, our board members, active and who've been active at any point during the project: Jennifer Pierce, Lori Stevens, Sharon Lindgren, Tricia Sandel, Liz Fitzgerald, Addie Rugland, Kara Bear, Alicia Cummins, Kathy Shaman, Erica Tunisi, Mark Fitzgerald, Abigail Lee, Joel Berry, Libby Lemke, and anybody else who I forgot who maybe came on before I did. And also Hillary Jennings was the director before me. Hillary was in a lot more tight spots than I was put into, and she did a great job helping everybody out. Of course, myself, all the businesses would like to thank city staff who worked on this project, weekly meetings that helped relay information in both directions. McKinnis Excavating, who was great when we really needed to come through, they always did. RDG Design, WHKS, other contractors, all their subs, everybody was great. All the businesses, though, especially. Businesses have shown great persistence and tolerance and patience with this project. They've shown great leadership and dedication to our downtown. Every single one of them could have pulled up roots and left and gone somewhere else, and they didn't because they saw the vision and they see the great things that are coming that I'll get to. Main Street, Mason City, the thing that we did mostly was we were on the spot, emergency and long view dissemination of information, both from city and project managers to businesses. So if there was going to be a utility shutdown or anything, or if there was an emergency utility shutdown, we were there. But also relaying concerns from the businesses back to the city project managers so we could avoid any major catastrophes that we could see coming, try and work on that. The already visible impact, there's a huge impact from the project already visible, both in the streetscape and the historic park area. Across the board, traffic has increased to every single business that I've talked to. Many businesses are reporting that they're already back at, or at least very near, pre-project levels. And a few of these businesses are even above pre-project levels. Several have seen enough increased business to make up for losses during the project and beyond. And one comment from an established business owner to me was that August was their best August ever in almost 2 decades of business. September was their best month ever, period. Again, best month ever. In this economy, outside of a strong traditional retail shopping season, with the weather we were having in August, with the minimum amount of advertisement had done at that point, best month ever. New businesses have already sprouted out during and immediately after the Streetscape project. Ralph's Garden Cafe, Star Auto Body, Splash, Bumbleberry Bakery, Shop and 11, the White Sail, and Oakleaf Comic are some examples of businesses that either opened new, relocated, or in second locations downtown Mason City. And there's more that are almost open. State Street Deli, which is inside the Brick and Tile building, and a new business, Labels, which will be open next to the Splash store right on 2nd Northeast. And there's 2 others who hopefully will be open before Christmas, but I don't want to spoil anything for them. These businesses show great foresight and leadership in heading up the invigorating rebirth of our downtown. They're doing great work to complement our architecture. These are the retail experiences that shoppers, that tourists are looking for. This is what we've been told for years we need, and we're really working on getting it. Some of the long-term and future impacts of the streetscape and parking projects. There are several businesses in the early form of planning with intentions to come downtown. There's no doubt in my mind there are lots of businesses in the pipeline that we'll be seeing supplying our downtown with some new growth over the next few years. These are restaurants, these are retailers, these are producers of good. And these are things that create the amenities and the atmosphere that we need for economic growth across the community. And from conversations with realtors and property owners, there's been a significant increase in inquiries about downtown properties, most often referencing the Hotel and Streetscape project. People who haven't had anything about their building said in years are now getting people asking how much. The properties are even moving when they do that. Several vacant or derelict buildings have been sold or finally moved to the market after long periods of inactivity. Some great huge, what I call white elephant buildings are hopefully going to be occupied within the next 3 months here. And some of the most important examples of leverage in this project, we leveraged federal money with our local money, and now we're leveraging private money with the project being completed. 14 facades are going to be improved through a federally funded program, but also that requires buy-in from local businesses. Then we used $150,000 TIF loans that the council here approved to do a revolving loan fund to further improve building quality. $5 million in private loan dollars from local banks. Private dollars, they saw the value in downtown. They're going to have any sort of business expansion downtown, should those people meet their requirements of lending. But there's a lot more hand-holding. It's a nice program that we've got going on. And then several properties outside the facade program have decided to do improvements anyway. This is somebody who got nothing from us and who didn't want their building to be the ugly building on the block. More development that's going to increase property taxes, it's going to increase retail sales because of more appealing environment to be shopping in. And these things are happening every day. And all this couldn't be possible without the great work that went into Streetscape, without the great work that went into the Historic Park Inn, and positive attitude that's been carried forward all around this project the whole time. So thank you again, council. I'm here representing the businesses, but I want to thank the businesses for all their positive work. Really, they've been the ones who, yep, they've had some problems, but they've also been the really torchbearers of we're here for a reason and we want to see this project completed to its successful end. And I think we're at that point today. So thank you all very much.
Thank you, Director. Folks, do you guys have any round of questions? Mr. Hickey.
How many businesses did you say so far?
When I counted up earlier today, it was 8 new businesses. If you include the hotel as one big business, with 4 new coming, and I'd say, I know of 4 who are maybe, we'll say 50-50 chance right now.
Okay. I know I attended one of your Friday Night Lives. That was a pretty big success, I thought, downtown too. That was pretty neat. I hope to see more of them in the future. The other thing I'd say is, I know our existing businesses that have been downtown for a long time, they really did put up with us for almost 2 years on this project, and I would ask most of the people in Mason City to get downtown, support them businesses, and show them that how much we appreciate them.
Yeah, in that same vein, remember that locally owned businesses return a lot more to the economy than national chains, and supporting our downtown is a great way. Supporting those local independent business owners downtown is a great way to make that work.
Thank you, Mr. Hickey. Anybody else down here? All right, well, thank you very much. Mr. Walsh, could you come forward here?
I've got 2 board members that I'll have.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
Who do we have?
we have our Vice President Treasurer.
Come on up. All right. Well, this is a certificate from the City of Mason City, the Office of the Mayor. Certificate of recognition. On behalf of the City Council, the certificate is awarded to the businesses of Main Street, Mason City. In recognition of your support, collaboration, patience, and efforts to renovate Main Street, Mason City, and for your outstanding contributions and service to the citizens of Mason City, Iowa. Please give these businesses all a round of applause and round of support. Last but not very much not least, this is a special presentation by the Mason City Chamber of Commerce, and we have tonight here the director, Allen Anderson.
Thank you. In early 2007, with just $9 million left in the Vision Iowa Fund, then Vision Iowa Board Chair Andy Anderson met with a few people from Mason City in the basement of the state capitol. He had a question for us. When could the Vision Iowa Board expect to receive an application from Mason City? So we talked about it, and we decided soon after that it was time. It wasn't easy, and it wasn't always fun, but tonight we can celebrate our collective achievement. This was truly a team effort, and we have many people to thank. First and foremost are the citizens of Mason City. They caught the vision and they jumped on board with enthusiasm. Also, former Mayor Roger Bang, Councilman Scott Tornquist, and former Councilman John Yashewski, and the late City Councilman Al Zook. Their support came early and never wavered. Our chamber board members, past and present, many of them are here this evening, provided vision, diligent oversight, Vision Mason City fundraising, and much more. I'd especially like to recognize our past board presidents, Marty Rodemaker, Dennis Rydell, Robin Edgar, Jim Fitzpatrick, Andy Hubbard, and John Michael. The Vision Iowa program for providing $9 million in grant funding and $15,000 in marketing funds, with special thanks, of course, to former board chair Andy Anderson for his patience and perseverance in negotiating our contract. Thanks also to Vision Iowa Project Manager Elena Santizo and former Assistant Attorney General Steve Moline, who made extraordinary efforts on behalf of Mason City. The Iowa Great Places program for providing more than $700,000 in grant funding, marketing assistance, and extra consideration on grants that we applied to from other state agencies. Special thanks to Great Places board member Sam Erickson for her expertise and assistance with historic tax credit applications for the hotel, and to former director of the Iowa Department of Cultural Affairs, Cindy Peterson, who took a very special interest in this endeavor. Our Vision Mason City donors, you contributors large and small who donated more than $2 million in financial and in-kind contributions to the Vision Iowa projects, which secured our community match. To Iowa Community Development, with special mention to Dan Robeson and Jim DePaul for providing financial expertise that brought Newmarket's tax credits to the Park Inn project, assistance in securing a lead lender, and providing a loan guarantee. To Grassroots for Mason City, especially to its founders Eric Bookmeyer and Carol Detmer for mobilizing extraordinary community support. To our downtown business owners for your perseverance and inconvenience. Thank you, thank you. To our partners, Mason City Public Library Board of Trustees and library staff and volunteers for your hard work in passing the library bond issue. This was key to raising the required 50% match so we could submit our Vision Iowa application, as well as fulfilling the requirement for demonstrating broad-based community support. To Ride on the Park and its board members, past and present, you'd be hard-pressed to find a more passionate group. To the River City Society for Historic Preservation for bringing forth your plan for the Mason City Architectural Interpretive Center that also serves as a wonderful welcome center for visitors, and they also have a penchant for creating really long names of things. I'd also like to thank the Performing Arts Pavilion Committee. It was actually the late Al Zook who suggested this be a part of the project. Although in the end it was dropped from the Vision Iowa package, his vision for finding a fitting home for the Mason City Municipal Band, a vision that was shared by the late Gil Leto and the late Rich Dean, lives on. And this committee actively participated in fundraising and truly believed in the importance of making these improvements to our community even after their project was no longer a reality for the near term. To the City of Mason City, to you, our City Council, and to our wonderful and capable city staff. The downtown streetscape and parking areas are terrific improvements to our downtown core. Tomorrow, several Vision Iowa board members will be in town to tour the projects. We think they'll share our enthusiasm and pride. Together, we did it. And in addition to our beautiful new community assets, This project has also resulted in a renewed spirit of optimism and a can-do attitude in our community. We are very eager to be a part of whatever comes next.
Do you guys have any questions for the director?
Oh,
All right. All right. This is a certificate from the City of Mason City, the Office of the Mayor. Certificate of recognition. On behalf of the City Council, this certificate is awarded to the Mason City Chamber of Commerce. Recognition of your efforts related to Vision Iowa for your outstanding contributions and service to the citizens of Mason City, Iowa. Keep up the good work, and please give these guys a round of applause.